books, cons, mail, and a bookmark? Welcome to Vintage SF. I'm Richard Rempel, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the things that came across my plate in August of 2025. Let's start first with cons. A number of my YouTube friends went to cons in the month of August. There was Pulp Fest in Pittsburgh and the World Con in Seattle. Now, I didn't get a chance to go to either of them, but there's some great coverage here on YouTube. I am starting to think about next year, though. Pulp Fest 2026 will be happening from July 30th to August 2nd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They're going to be celebrating 100 years of amazing stories. That's a magazine that was started by Hugo Gernsback. It originally coined the term scientifiction, which became science fiction. And then at the end of August next year, from August 27th to 31st, the World Con will be in LA. Let me know if you plan to be at either of these conventions. Now let's turn to the mail. My friend Bruce from Toronto loves to send encouraging emails to myself and some other booktubers. Here's the one I got this last month. Citizen of the Galaxy by Robert A. Heinlein, and it's from Penguin. Here is the postcard's note. Hi, Richard. Delighted to see that you've joined in on the Rocket Summer Fun. That was for July. Last week, I finished reading Citizen of the Galaxy. I like how Heinlein emphasizes learning new skills and personal growth. It is uplifting to see, a welcome counterpoint to the dark dystopian visions in the SF genre. Hope you're well. I'm gradually reading through the Culture series by Banks. Sad that Banks's work is so rare in Canada. Cheers, Bruce. And just a note on the cover art, it's by Tom Stimson, and it's from 1981. Thank you, Bruce. How about the bookmark before we get to the books itself? This is a bookmark that I found. Never judge a book by its movie. And on the back, it has some trivia. I don't know if you're interested in this trivia. Perhaps what I'll do is I'll ask the trivia questions right now, and I'll give you the answers at the end of the video. There's 5 trivia questions. 1. In the Harry Potter series, who originally owned the Sorting Hat? 2. In the Chronicles of Narnia, what game were the children playing when Lucy found the wardrobe? 3. In Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, who did Charlie take with him to the chocolate factory? 4. In Charlotte's Web, what was the first thing Charlotte said to Wilbur? And 5. In Stormbreaker, what is the name of Alex Rider's uncle? So if you want to go and make a comment and answer these questions right now, go for it. And you can check at the end of the video. I'll put it after my outro. So let's get to some books. All right, now it's time for the book haul section of this video. I have 9 paperbacks and 4 hardcovers to show you. Lucky 13. So let's start with somebody that not many of you may have heard of. His name is Robert Wells. I know him because with Ebs, the Elusive Exclusive Book Society, we read The Parasaurians. I'll put a link to that video down below in the description. But I found a couple more books by Robert Wells. I believe he only really wrote 4 novels. One is Right-Handed Wilderness. And the cover art is pretty good. Somewhere, a biological time bomb was ticking, one that could destroy the entire planet. This is from 1973, and the cover art, I'm not sure if you could guess, is Chris Foss. I have a few books today by Chris Foss. And a second Robert Wells, Candle in the Sun. First time in paperback, and it's advertised that it's by the author of The Parasaurians. So those are a couple of Robert Wells. Next, Frederick Pohl and C.M. Kornbluth, Search the Sky. Had some pretty good covers here so far. Satire in the grand tradition. Animated, adroit, witty, and sheerly entertaining. That's from the New York Herald Tribune. I've enjoyed reading Kornbluth especially, but Pohl and Kornbluth have written a number of novels together, including The Space Merchants. Copyright 1954. I have a couple novels now that are from Arrow Science Fiction. That's a publishing house in the UK. These are both by James Blish. Fallen Star. Beneath the polar ice cap, humanity's nightmare lies waiting. This cover, if I had to guess, is a Chris Foss cover. Let's see if it's credited. Copyright 1957. No cover credit in here. I may have to check ISFDB. That's the Internet Speculative Fiction Database. Jack of Eagles by James Blish. Danny Caden has always thought of himself as a normal guy, an ordinary young American with no special talents, leading an ordinary, uneventful life. Normal, that is, until he suddenly realizes he can see into the future. Before he knows it, Danny has developed a dozen more alarming powers, lost his job, run foul of the FBI, and found himself at the center of a shattering psychic struggle for the future of humanity. This one says, first published in England in 1973. So I'm not sure if that is the copyright date. I have a feeling it's much older than that because it says here to Henry Kuttner, and Henry Kuttner passed away in the 50s. I'm just going to do a quick check at ISFDB right now, and then I'll get back to you about both of these.
2 hours later.
All right, I'm back. Both of these are Chris Foss covers, and Jack of Eagles is 1952, Fallen Star 1957 in terms of copyright. So at least 3 of these books here that I've looked at so far are Chris Foss covers today. And I have one of the Go-Length series here. This is called the Collector's Edition. And it's Son of Man by Robert Silverberg. Got a little bit of work to do to get some stickers off of here. Swept up by a time flux, a man called Clay is flung impossibly far into the future and arrives on an Earth with no moon and no memory or knowledge of his culture's greatest achievements. The intellectually superior and sexually ambivalent beings that now inhabit the planet have never heard of Homer or Galileo or Mozart or Darwin or Shakespeare or Einstein. But it is an Earth without hunger, and where death is no longer an issue, and where the physically changed beings can dissolve and fly through space. In their company, Clay embarks upon an extraordinary odyssey, encompassing billions of years, coming to understand that his own era is just a thread in the band of time, and is only the dawn of man. What lies ahead is the time of the Son of Man. Son of Man is an intense and profound speculation on the future for mankind, a brilliantly imaginative and thought-provoking novel from one of science fiction's most gifted writers. So let me know if you've read this novel and what you thought of Son of Man. This is a very interesting one. Roger Zelazny's visual guide to the Castle of Amber. For those of you who've read the Amber series, this is a great companion piece, it appears. With more than 1.5 million books sold, Amber is one of the most popular fantasy series ever created. Now, the world of Amber has taken on an exciting new dimension, one that will bring to even greater life its magic, mystery, and truth. So enter. The tour of Castle Amber is about to begin, with vivid illustrations, detailed floor plans, cutaway drawings, and page after page of never-before-revealed information. Explore, see it all, from the throne room to the treasury, the dungeons to the dining halls, the library, laboratory, private apartments, and secret chambers. Exult. Learn more about Amber's culture, myths, and military. Discover new facts about the royal family. Travel to the courts of chaos. And, at last, see for yourself what the trump cards actually look like. It's all here, in the one book every Amber devotee must own. And let's take a look inside here, and you can see some of the illustrations. One of the interesting things in the introduction here, I learned that we invaded his house. It's as simple as that, according to the people who are the authors and illustrators. For 4 days, we occupied the peak hours of Roger Zelazny's day. Days when he should have been writing the 9th Amber novel, or something about unicorns, or cats, or maybe even Lords and Light. But he put up with us, all 4 of us. And it goes on to talk about how they peppered him with questions and showed him some preliminary drawings. And so this is a book that is a partnership with Roger Zelazny. So I'm looking forward to using this as I go through the Amber series. I've read just the first novel so far. Now, the next 2 paperbacks I just finished reading, and there's videos coming up on my channel for these. Wilson Tucker's The Time Masters, originally from 1953, but revised in this new edition from 1971. I don't want to say too much about this because, as I said, a review is coming up. And the last one, The House on the Borderland, William Hope Hodgson. This book is over 100 years old, copyright-wise, in 1907. Now, there's not a lot of information within here about copyright, actually. It just says December 17th, 1907 for the author's introduction to the manuscript, so it may have come out in 1908. But you can see here, I have one of those Ace editions, 35 cents. This was a very interesting novel. I will talk about it a couple videos from now. All right, let's get to the hardcovers. One of the authors that I recently discovered and have read is a Canadian. His name is Robert Charles Wilson. He won the Hugo Award for this novel. Spin. This is something that I just noticed. I didn't see this before. To Andrea. Spin. Enjoy. From Robert Wilson. April 18th, 05. That's the date that this book came out. Signed copy. That is a surprise. And of course, it's a first printing. There we go. That was a way better purchase than I realized. And it did have a sequel in Axis that I've already have, but I just thought I'd show it to you. I don't think this one is signed. No. The last 3 I have are a series of omnibuses. Something called the Sector General series by James White. This one's beginning operations. If you've never heard of Sector General novels, let me just read a little bit from the back here. Sector General, a massive deep space hospital station on the galactic rim where human and alien medicine meet. Its 384 levels and thousands of staff members are supposedly able to meet the needs of any conceivable alien patient. though that capacity is always being strained as more and stranger alien races turn up to join the galactic community. Sentient viruses, interspecies romances, undreamed of institutional catering problems, it all lands on Sector General's doorstep. And the only thing weirder than a hitherto unknown alien species is having a member of that alien species turn up in your emergency room. This first of 2 omnibus volumes reprints the works that began the Sector General series, which were previously published as Hospital Station 1962, Star Surgeon 1963, and Major Operation 1971. So these omnibus editions had John Berkey covers. And here's the second omnibus, and they did have a third omnibus. This second omnibus collects, by the way, it's a John Berkey cover again, collects Ambulance Ship, Sector General, and Star Healer. These weren't really novels. These were short stories, at least the one that I've read. Last one, General Practice. This one collects Code Blue Emergency and the Genocidal Healer. So there we go. 3 omnibus with 8 books in them. That's the book haul, including that surprise signed copy. Now it's your turn. Do you have any comments about some of the books that I've collected? Perhaps you have answers to those trivia questions. Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep reading. If you're still here for the trivia answers, number 1 in the Harry Potter series, who originally owned the Sorting Hat? The answer is Godric Gryffindor. Number 2 in the Chronicles of Narnia, what game were the children playing when Lucy found the wardrobe? Answer, hide and seek. Number 3 in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, who did Charlie take with him to the chocolate factory? Answer, Grandpa Joe. Number 4. In Charlotte's Web, what was the first thing Charlotte said to Wilbur? Salutations. And number 5. In Stormbreaker, what is the name of Alex Rider's uncle? Ian Rider. So once again, keep reading.